When Akwa Ibom State was carved out of Cross River State in 1987 through a military fiat, it never occurred to both parties that they would someday go to the battlefield over natural resources after exhausting all other means of settlement. At this public hearing in Abuja by the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission on the Inter-Agency Technical Committee on disputed/new oil wells, the Akwa Ibom State government reaffirmed that it has no maritime boundary with Cross River State, stressing that the matter had been concluded at the Supreme Court. The state's Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Akwa Odom, recalled the July 10, 2012 judgment of the Supreme Court, which followed the ruling of the International Court of Justice on October 10, 2002. At The Hague on the Nigeria-Cameroon boundary and ended the estuarine sector. He reaffirms that Cross River State is not a littoral state and as such has no offshore settlement.
You cannot speak to documents that are not before both sides. So the decision was that it should be deferred so that all these documents will be sent to both sides and we can all study it. If we have objections at any level, we can present it. That's why today's proceedings have been deferred. There's no stalemate.
A senior advocate of Nigeria, Assam, insists that all issues relating to existing or new offshore oil wells fall squarely within the bona fide maritime territory of Akwa Ibom State.
As a consequence of the World Court judgment that created a boundary, the Maritime boundary between Nigeria and the Cameroon, and taking the boundary line 3 nautical miles into the Cross River. The Cross River, the boundary line between Cross River on this side and Akwa Ibom on the other side was intersected by that Mara line. And by virtue of that, the Supreme Court held that there is no boundary between Akwa Ibom and Cross River at the Maritime area.
Another lawyer, Paul Usoro, said Cross River State rejected all overtures and engagements with elder statesmen and stakeholders, leading to renewed attempts to reopen settled matters concerning oil wells within the 200-meter isobath.
I think it's purely a matter of assuaging feelings and reminding our brothers that we are still brothers, even if they are not a literal state. What binds us together is not the fact that they're a literal state. It is more the culture and the fact that we share a lot in common.
But the Cross River State representatives who later staged a walkout were adamant on no retreat, no surrender.
Cross River State is Nigeria's first littoral maritime boundary in the Gulf of Guinea. The chairman of the National Boundary Commission in the presentation in Asaba and Uyo provided detailed map to show that Cross River State has the first littoral boundary in the Gulf of Guinea and the Nigeria-Atlantic Ocean. When the Supreme Court gave its judgment, the Supreme Court presided over 3 estuaries: the Cross River Estuary, Akwa and Rio de Rey. Cross River State Estuary was not seated. The mouth of Cross River State Estuary is Nigeria's first and most important littoral boundary access.
The hearing has been adjourned to a later date for the continuation of proceedings.